Mr. Hansen. I'm going to get this right one of these days. Mr. Hansen 414, thanks for showing up today, guys. I'm hoping you already watched my one-step equation video. I'll drop that card. I think it goes right there. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. Otherwise, 2 steps. Can't hit the 2-step. You can't do the 1-step. We're talking about equations, right? Solving them, finding the solution, finding the value that makes both sides true. So let's get right to it, because I know that you can do it. So again, I'm making this video assuming you already did the 1-step. If you didn't do that right now. Don't cheat yourself on the facts, on the knowledge. So I'm recording this video. I'm going to drop a little clip. You'll see it. Got my baby boy rocking with me under the desk, trying to keep him quiet, getting his math brain right. He's already picking up on the knowledge, on the vocab. So a 2-step equation is literally a 1-step equation, but instead of hitting the 1-step, you gotta get the 2-step. You gotta know how to rock. So the important thing though is, just like when we do order operations, to simplify expressions, you follow PEMDAS, right? Or your version of PEMDAS. My version goes like this, because I know that multiplication and division happen on the same level, and addition and subtraction happen on the same level, as long as I'm going left to right, like I'm reading a book, an English book, not like Magna. You guys know what I'm talking about, like anime, but written, not the shows. So it's very important that you get this down. You always undo the addition and subtraction first. We're going in reverse order almost of PEMDAS. That's a good way to think about it. Flip it and reverse it, and then undo the multiplication and division. Now, that does not mean that if you happen to, and this is why I love equations, because if you happen to undo one or the other, you can still work your way out, but you're more likely to be prone to mistakes. So I'm going to work on the assumption that we're going to add and subtract first when we need to, multiply and divide second when we need to. You ready? Let's do it. So, simple equation, right? 8x plus 7, and I stole my own thunder here, giving you guys the steps. So I'll do it over here. 8x plus 7. See, my handwriting ain't bad. Maybe y'all just make me nervous. I don't know. Train track it. Boom. 8 times x, read the math, plus 7 on the left side equals 47. I don't really care about that 47. I don't care about the right side. I just care about this x. We got to get them all alone so they can be lonely just like they left you. So get rid of this plus 7 by subtracting 7 on both sides using the SPE. Write that out. I should have left room on my right. I really wish I could use this space here. I'm going to figure out a better way, because I feel like I'm cutting myself short here. When you add or subtract by the same number, you get a 0. So we have 8x equal to 40. Now we got a 1-step. This should look super familiar and like, dang, I got this. We're just making it simpler, guys. Breaking it down. So to get rid of multiplication, you divide, and you divide, and then you get x equals, 1x equals, right? There's a 1x there, 5. Bam, bam. We got this. So that's one where you undo addition and then undo multiplication. Take a deep breath, because this one's a little different. This one, we're going to have to undo addition and multiplication. So again, I'm giving you all the written steps, but we'll still walk it through. So we have y divided by 4. Yes, some of you are like, it's y over 4, but read the math. It'll make you a better mathematician, trust. Undo the subtraction first by doing the inverse operation, which is addition. So we're going to add 2 on both sides after I quickly do that train track so I don't get messy. I'm a messy person. I got to keep myself organized. We've got to make sure we keep it balanced, though, so we do it on both sides. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then, because that's a division by 4, that means I have to do the inverse, which is multiplication by 4 on both sides. So you put both sides in parentheses to establish good habits. Trust me, we're going to need that later. Multiply and divide by the same number, you get a 1, and you get y equals 12. Don't get much harder than that on the 2 steps, guys. Everybody's got to go 2-step. You know, one day, hopefully soon, we'll be able to have non-socially distanced events or large gatherings. Maybe you guys can find someone to go to the dance with. So, real quick, I'm going to have you guys pause, work on these couple problems. I'm going to write the answers down for you, though. Bonus information, so please take a second to work on these. That was quick. I'm hoping you did them right. Check your work. Lots of negatives. Now, I was going to leave you as the answer for this one. I was like, ooh, that'd be a little mean. So I'll walk you through it just because I know that you guys get worried when you see fractions, even though you're just multiplying by the number. We talked about flipping like reciprocals like J. Cole on the last video. So I'm going to train track this. I'm going to ask myself, okay, what do I got to do to get the x all alone? I got to get rid of the 6. Got to get rid of this 2/3. Ask yourself, okay, am I adding or subtracting one of those? The 6 is a positive number, so I can undo it with subtraction. So that's what I'm going to do first. Subtract 6 on both sides using the SPE. Like we're on the stock market. Bought my first option today. I don't think it's going to do it because I kind of FOMO'd my way into it. Seeing some stuff online, I'm kind of regretting it, but I'm working on it. I'm going to make a video on it one of these days because I think it's important. I just started. I mean, I played a few years ago, didn't do none. Got in a few months ago. Got to get ahead, right? 2/3 x means 2 over 3 times x. It also means 2 times x divided by 3, however your brain sees it. We got to get rid of it. How we do that, we multiply by the reciprocal, but both sides in parentheses. The reciprocal, 2/3 is 3/2. Flip it around. I like to make my whole numbers over 1 to help me multiply. That's going to make a 1. So we get x equals 22 times 3 is 66. 1 times 2 is 2. And we know, because those are both even numbers, we can simplify or reduce to get x equal 33. Hopefully you got all 4 of those answers. If you are, round of applause. Waka flocka. Blank space. I don't need it. I don't need it. Oh, Drakey crying. Hold up. So Travis Scott or not. Now I made this problem purposely with a work truck because if you guys are going to spend a bunch of money on a vehicle, on anything really, how is it coming back to you invest in yourself? I'm really wishing I would have bought a truck instead of my SUV because I could be using it to help me make some cash. So we're going to write an equation and then we're going to solve it. Now the reason we write equations have power, guys. You're always like, man, we ain't going to use this. And a lot of this, you're right, but some of this actually matters. So you might not actually write out the actual equation, but you're doing the math because you learned it. So let's highlight, let's mark the things that are important. I don't care about his name is Travis. I really don't. Down payment. If you don't know what a down payment is, Google it real quick. You probably ain't familiar with layaways. You might not have never done a down payment, but it's putting money down. It's what you got to pay up front. So we got to pay 3 racks up front. I recommend if you're going to buy a car, I would just buy one cash, a cheap car, because you guys are young, you ain't got that disposable income. But when you get older, you want to have a bigger down payment. Not a ton, because especially if interest rates are really low, like take advantage of it's free money, especially if the interest rate's lower than inflation. But $3,000 down on a work truck that costs $9,500. If no interest is charged, this is a lie, but it's hard. It's pretty hard to show interest in basic math problems. However, you're looking at somewhere between a 4 to 8 or 9% range if you have a decent credit score. If you're young, if you don't really have credit, you're probably getting charged 15, 20, and whew, I wouldn't do that. Don't do that deal. How many monthly payments of $300? So that's how much he does have to pay every month. Must he make? Now again, this is not an actual problem because you would be charged interest every month that you have this outstanding loan on the balance of some percentage, and you'd be paying an extra 50, an extra 100, etc., depending each month of your balance. It would be added. But we can do this. Write and solve the equation. So equations have what? A left side, a right side, and an equal sign. Ooh, that yellow's gross. Looks really good on my daughter, though. She had a shirt like that on today. Write and solve an equation. What goes on one side? I like to put the total, and the total is 9,500. Now we know up top, Travis dropped that 3,000 plus. What else has he got to pay? Well, he's got to pay $300 per month. Boom. Do we know how many months? No. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Drop a variable. We got to define a variable. Let's use M for months. M equals the number of months to pay off the truck. Now, a cheat code they don't tell you, and this is super valuable when you get a house, is you can make extra payments to your principal most of the time, as long as they're not going to charge you extra to pay off early, and then you can pay less. So it's going to be 300 M because it's 300 per month, and that's the number of months. So make sure you guys are following me here, and you define your variable, because you can't just throw a letter in there without defining it, because then I don't know what it means. All right, so we got the equation written. Give yourself a high five. Asymptotic, we can't touch right now, even if we're in person. No Rona around here. We wrote the equation. Now we got to solve it. And why are we going to solve it? What's it going to tell us? What's the purpose of solving it? It's going to tell us that the number of months we got to make these payments, because he's got to make sure that he's got $300 every month on top of the rest of his bills to pay for this truck. And he's got insurance on it. You got a loan. It means you got a higher rate of insurance. So make sure you guys think your car purchase is through. So here we go. I got to scroll down a little bit, give us a little room. I'll rewrite this equation. 3,000 represents my what? Down payment. $300 represents the monthly payment. M represents the number of months I got to make my payments. And 9,500 represents the total amount I got to pay for my work truck. So train track it. We are solving for M because M is going to say how many months we need to make payments for. So two-step equation, right? Get rid of the 3,000 first by subtracting it on both sides. Because you already paid that day zero right away. Boom. You gave them 3,000. You got $300 per month to pay on the remaining balance of $6,500. Again, going forward, you would have actually interest. You probably end up paying something like $7,500 or so, or $8,000 for this car on top of your down payment. How do you get rid of a 300 times M? You divide. Division property of equality. Divide by 300. How many M's are there? Now, totally acceptable to use a calculator here. I'm relatively good at math and I like it. So I'm going to do 300 times 20 because I know that's 6,000. Okay, so it's 20. And then there's 500 left, so that'd be 21. And then there'll be $200 extra. So I'm going to round up. I'm going to make 22 months of payments because that's usually how it'll go. They'll just charge you less, but it's going to be 22. It'll be 21.666 or something if you put in a calculator. But 22 months, so about 2 years, which actually ain't bad. Most car loans are 4, 5, 6. So my baby crying. Hopefully you guys understand these equations. Don't get yourself a bad car loan, otherwise you're going to be crying. So now you've watched my 1-step, you watched my 2-step, and you're ready to get it. Thanks for subscribing. Hit that like button. Let me know what else I can do in this next video. Let's grow the Hansonator fan base. 300 subscribers. We're going to be there soon. Thanks for coming, guys.